Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to see how we can trigger a Synapse pipeline using a logic app. So without getting delayed for this video, let's get started. So for this video, we are going to create a logic app that will be used to call a pipeline, and we will trigger that pipeline through that logic app. So first of all, before getting started to design any logic app, we have to first understand the API which we are going to leverage to call from the logic app. So there is already API that is provided by Microsoft that we will leverage to create this logic app. So as you can see on my screen, this is the REST API that we are going to use. So the method for this API is going to be post, and this is the URL, or you can say the HTTP call that we will make through the logic app will be in this format. And this is the latest version of this API. Previous version was 2019, and this is the latest version that should be used. So let's get started for the parameters that we are going to pass. So one parameter that is important is the endpoint. Endpoint is nothing but your Synapse workspace, your target Synapse workspace where your pipeline is, which you want to trigger. And the pipeline is another one. So in that workspace, which pipeline you want to trigger. So these two parameters we will be using in this video. So let's get started to design the logic app now, and while after creation we will see how we can use it and how we will call it. So for creating a logic app, first you need to have a logic app created. So I have already created a logic app named Synapse Pipeline Trigger, and I'm going to start with a blank logic app. So here we are. This logic app I'm designing that I can call from my workspace. So that is the reason my first activity is going to be HTTP whenever there is a call. So let's type that, and let's see. Okay, here it is. When HTTP request is received, then we have to trigger it. Okay. First, we have to generate our JSON schema. For that, we have to provide the payload for that. So you can see this is the place where you can define your own schema for the request that you are going to make to this logic app. So as we have already seen that we have two parameters as of now that we will be needing to call any pipeline in any workspace. That would be the workspace name, and it is going to be empty, and the second one is the pipeline name. So these are the two parameters that we will be passing to this logic app for this whole workflow to be triggered. So that is it. So let's click on done, and here it will create a nice JSON schema for you. So once it is done, then we can go ahead and start our designing for the second step. That would be the HTTP is the connector. So we are calling the HTTP connector because we have to call that REST API, and the action is going to be same. Just select it, and as per the documentation, we can see that the method is going to be post. So that is what it has to be given here. So I have given the post. The URL is going to be like this: https then colon double slash, and you have already defined as per this log and this API. You can see the first, there should be an endpoint, then there will be a pipeline keyword, and after that the pipeline name has to be provided, and then you have to use this one. So let me use the same format to give that same format of the API. So here we have the workspace name, then Azure dev.azure synapse.net. Then we saw there is another keyword, that pipelines, and then we have to provide our pipeline name, and then we have to use the rest of the API. Okay, so the URL is pretty much created for us. So let's do the second part. Okay, so the next part for this stage, this connector for configuration is as an authentication. So this is important because the logic app needs to have access to the target workspace wherever you are calling this. Or that means like you have to wherever your pipeline is in that workspace, it should have access to access those pipelines. So we have to give access to this logic app, right? So I have to go back since I have not done it initially when I have created it for so that I can show you guys. So I'm just going to save as it is, and then I'll come back and re-edit this authentication part. We will reconfigure it. So I'm going to save this. Okay, so our logic app is saved. Now we can go back to the logic app and we can configure the identity. Okay, so we went back now, and here in the left hand side blade you can see the identity column. So you can see two kind of identity that you can assign: system assigned or the user assigned. So I'm going to use the system assigned one. So I'll turn it on and save this. So let's go back to the logic app designer and start re-editing it. Okay, there we have it now. So this is the, let's add the parameter as authentication, and you can see here, and the moment you will choose the manage identity, it will give you the identity that you have already selected, and the audience is nothing but your resource. So resource would be https://azure synapse, sorry, I missed azure synapse.net. That's it. So let me see if I have made any typo or not. So I guess it should not be, but still double checking it. Azure synapse.net. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's save this. Okay, the work is done over here. So let's hop to our pipeline. Okay, there we have. So first we will create a pipeline that will be triggered by logic app that we have designed currently. So I'm just going to use pl trigger logic app, and I'm going to use a simple wait activity just to see if it triggers correctly or not. So I can see I will just set the timer to 2 seconds, so that's okay. Logic, oh, I made a typo here. Now it's fine. pl trigger logic app. Okay, let's publish this. The pipeline has been published. The next action that we have to do is giving access to the logic app in our Synapse workspace. So this workspace would be your target Synapse workspace. So wherever you want to for the pipeline you want to run, that should be used here. So I am in the access control and click on add. I'm just choosing this credential user, and it will work for this flow to work. So now let's select our um, okay, trigger. Okay, oh, okay, so that should, I forgot my name of this logic app. There it is. Okay, there it is. So let's click on apply. Okay, so it added our logic app as and we have given the access in the workspace. So that part is also done now. So we have configured all our three steps. So first is designing our logic app, that is done. Second is creating a demo, a pipeline that we will trigger using the logic app, that is also done, and we have given now access as well. So it's time to test it now. So I'm going to call this logic app from the same workspace, but you can have different workspace, and that's totally fine. For the sake of this video, I am using the same workspace, so it actually works in every situation, so it's fine. So this is the web activity. So we need the URL of this logic app. So here it is in the logic app. I can see on the first step. Let's copy that, paste it, and our method is going to be post. It requires a body. The body is actually what you have given that it accepts the it accepts that values from the user. That's the one which we are giving, providing that input to this logic app while calling. So workspace name is syndemo workspace, and pipeline name is PL trigger logic app. That's it. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Workspace name and the pipeline name. That's enough. Okay, so the next part is the authentication. So you could see here that you can also provide the authentication from the activity, but it is not needed because you have already configured while you were designing it. So it's not needed to give an ad during the call, right? If you give it, then you will see an error that two different places it is trying to authenticate. So that is not required. From a single point that is already configured here, it will take the authentication and it will work for you. So it can be left blank. Okay, so let's test the flow now. So let's click on debug and just wait for it to work. Okay, so the call has been made successfully. Let's check the logic app run. Okay, it failed. Let's see the failure. What failed? So we can see the first stage has done its work. So this is the pipeline name and this is the workspace, and let's go down and see what actually has failed. Okay, so here you can see it is a code bad request, the entity PL trigger logic app not found. Okay, so let's verify that. Okay, so the logic app is given as okay, let's verify that PL trigger logic. Okay, here I made a typo here. So while creating this pipeline, I gave AAP instead of giving APP. That's totally fine. We can still see this in action. Okay, let me just correct that and run it again. Okay, here it is. We have to use okay, that's the one. Okay, no problem, and let's just use as it is. It's totally fine. Okay, okay, so it triggered the logic app. Let's refresh the run. Okay, so it succeeded. Okay, there we have it now. So everything worked fine. You can see this is the run ID that is created from that run. So let's verify this run in our workspace. So here, check app. Okay, you can see this. It triggered successfully. Let's open this and let's see what was the input. Okay, wait time in 2 seconds. That is exactly what we have used. This is how we create a logic app to trigger any Synapse pipeline. The logic app trigger part, so that totally depends on your need. So if you want that logic app to be triggered with any other methods, like when you get receive an email, then it should trigger a pipeline or any other condition. That totally depends on you. So you can configure your logic app in that way. Okay, so this is it for this video. Hope you guys liked this, and if you did, then please like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.